Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to Sidewalks Entertainment. I'm your host, Lori Rosales. One of them is a #1 best-selling and award-winning author, and joining her is a real-life astronaut and aerospace professional. Sheri Fink and Kellie Gerardi will be joining us right here on Sidewalks Entertainment. So sit back, relax, don't go anywhere because you're watching Sidewalks Entertainment. I'd like to welcome a #1 best-selling and award-winning author, Sheri Fink. And joining her is astronaut and aerospace professional, Kellie Gerardi, to Sidewalks Entertainment. Hi, Kellie. Hi, Sheri. Thank you so much for joining us on our show. It's so great to have you.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Sheri, #1 best-selling and award-winning author. What inspired you to do the work that you do, and how did you start your career as an author?
You know, when I was a kid growing up in rural Virginia, I had big dreams. I wanted to be a writer, a teacher, a mother, a princess, and a mermaid. And I have the luckiest job on earth where I can do all of those things. It's a legitimate part of the career, right? So I am so blessed to get to do books that make a difference. And this book, Beyond Words, that I got to partner with AFLAC to collaborate on, is the most meaningful book that I've written so far.
And Kellie, you're an astronaut and aerospace professional. Same question for you. What inspired you to go into the work that you do, and how did you become an astronaut?
Yeah, I grew up in Jupiter, Florida, which is very appropriate for someone with my particular passions in life. And I always feel like I had really early exposure to human spaceflight and kind of front row seats to the final frontier. So I always knew that I wanted to be a part of it. I'm also a mom, which is a huge part of my identity as well. So being able to partner on a project like this with AFLAC and with Sheri to really reach children, especially children who are navigating difficult health challenges, and their support systems around them, is something that's so meaningful to me and something that I feel very proud to take part in.
Sheri, apart from your book Beyond Words, you've written several other children's books. Where does your inspiration come from for the books that you write?
You know, Beyond Words is my 19th book, and I have so many ideas for future books that I don't think I'm ever going to run out. It's just a matter of having enough time to bring them all to life. I'm really inspired by things that happen in everyday experiences. You know, somebody will say something, and I'll be like, oh, wow, you know, that phrase triggers a whole lot of ideas for me, and I'll just write them all down, and then when I have an opportunity, I'll see if I want to bring it to life in the form of a book. It's really amazing to see the things that you dream up brought to life, and in full color, in this case in 3D. I mean, in our backdrop here, this is a recreation of part of Buddy's room from the storybook. That's incredible to get to witness and be a part of.
And Kellie, you've actually been to outer space. How would you describe what your experience was like during your very first time in outer space?
Yeah, I'd give it 5 stars. But truly, it's the honor of a lifetime. I grew up, you know, with this dream of wanting to help open up access to space for the next generation of scientists, and to use space as a laboratory to benefit life on Earth. And that's really been my guiding North Star for the entirety of my professional and personal life. So for me, it was really a dream come true. And then to be able to have a partnership like this and sort of these opportunities to do something that I wouldn't have ordinarily expected to be invited to do. So AFLAC invited me to record the audio version of this children's book, as well as contribute the foreword to Sheri's heartwarming story. So it's just a beautiful way to get to tie in all of the things that I love and care about.
So, Sheri, share with us a little bit more about the story within the book Beyond Words.
Well, Buddy the bear is very excited that his friend Bunny is coming home from the hospital. But he's also very nervous because, like most of us, he doesn't know what to say because she's been going through a hard time and he wants to express friendship, but he's scared of not saying the perfect thing. So he blasts off into space through his imagination, and he has adventures on different planets where he meets a lot of new friends like robots and puppies and underwater creatures and all kinds of adventures with them that help him learn new ways to express love and support beyond words.
So lovely. And just hearing you describe the story, I kind of felt like a child again. Well, I mean, not only can children learn and take away from this book, but adults as well. So as you mentioned, Beyond Words, it takes place in outer space, which is where Kellie comes in, a real-life astronaut who voices the read-along for Beyond Words. So, Kellie, how were you brought on board to become a part of Beyond Words?
Yeah, Affleck invited me to do this audio narration version of the book, which was so much fun to record. Sheri really brought these incredible multi-dimensional characters to life, and it was an honor to get to voice them and narrate the version of this book and contribute the foreword. And I just thought space was really the perfect theme and backdrop for this message about bravely confronting the unknown or the unfamiliar. I have an 8-year-old daughter, like I mentioned, at home, and when I read this book for the first time, I knew she would love it, and I also knew she would benefit from this message, as I think would readers of all ages. All of us can use a reminder that when it comes to supporting the people we love, it's not so much about having the perfect words, it's really about showing up, and you can communicate empathy and kindness through action.
So Sheri, Beyond Words is more than a book of kindness, empathy, and support, but also the proceeds from Beyond Words go towards research funding. Tell us about that.
Yes, that's right. So most people don't realize that 16,000 children a year are diagnosed with cancer in the United States. That's a huge number, and it doesn't even include the folks that are living with blood disorders like sickle cell disease. These families need support on a multitude of levels, including medical, emotional, and financial.
Yeah, that's why this impact is so meaningful. So as part of a really long-standing commitment from Affleck towards this cause, over the last 30 years, they've donated nearly $200 million in support for families that are navigating childhood cancer and blood disorders. So the book is really an extension of that. Like you mentioned, 100% of the net proceeds from Beyond Words will go to supporting research and treatment for children navigating cancer and blood disorders. So you know that when you purchase this book, not only are you getting this beautiful story, but you're also helping to make a real impact for real families in a real way.
Beautiful. So Kellie, being that you also voice the read-along for Beyond Words, what is your personal favorite line, phrase, or part of the book?
Yeah, oh gosh, I don't want to give too much away, but I think one of the beautiful things that Sheri did with this book is sort of help Buddy as he navigates all of these different unfamiliar scenarios in space. You kind of watch him gain confidence. In the beginning, each one is a little bit, disorienting to him, or, it can make him a little bit nervous to come across such an unexpected or unfamiliar scene or planet. But as he continues his journey, he really finds that delight in discovery and gains confidence around the way. So, my favorite part is probably towards the ending when Buddy is really taking home all of these messages to welcome his friend Bunny back to school. And he's now armed with all of these different tools to be able to show up in his friendship in ways that are beyond words.
Aw, so sweet. Aw, I love that. Well, everyone, that was Sheri Fink and Kellie Gerardi of the book Beyond Words. You can get your copy of the book at www.affleck.com/beyondwords. Sheri, Kellie, it was so lovely speaking with both of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you.
You guys take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit sidewalkstv.com.